Good morning from Hoffman's Marina East, and you can see right there that bridge is opening. If you do come to Hoffman's, I think this is the preferred place to stay right here at Hoffman's East, because if you go to Hoffman's West, you'll be closer to the restaurant, but you have that bridge opening and closing to contend with. And I was surprised how much that bridge did open and close. The other thing is, it is Labor Day, and you can already see boats out there. Today we're going from Hoffman's Marina here in Manasquan, New Jersey, up to Lady Liberty, and we're going to stay at Liberty Landing Marina, where we'll have a terrific view of the skyline up there. The weather is great. Last time we went through here it was foggy. We couldn't see much. We kept thinking things would burn off. We didn't stay there. We went right up to, I believe it was Half Moon Bay. So today I'd like to talk to you about a couple things. One of the things that is really going to be predominant on today's journey is the use of our eyeballs to watch out for other traffic. Not only the Labor Day traffic, but the traffic in the New York Harbor. So one of the tools that we have with us this trip that we didn't have last trip was the AIS, and I highly recommend. The price has come down so much. Don't try to get a half of an AIS. Some people have half of an AIS. They can receive, but they can't transmit. So they can see you, but you can't see them. So the AIS is Automatic Identification Service. It transmits on VHF. I think it's channels 87, 88B. But the unit is right here under this. This is how easy this is to install. You get a marine electronics person to do it. It's bolted under here. And I was there when they installed it, and I was concerned that, wow, is it going to transmit enough because of our hard top and being under here? And it does a great job. It's just magic how it works. So what it does is it sends a signal through your network, and the Garmin AIS 800 series is NEMA compatible, and that means it can go on the network protocol. And what I'd like you to do, Rev, is just come into here. We can see our boat, and it is very, very accurate. That is a very accurate portrayal of where we are parked right now, how we came in, the track that we came in and parked, and we can see other boats that are around us. And as we progress on today's journey, I'll try to zoom in on a couple targets and show what it is when we move. But if I select these particular, and it's just touch screen, Brenda S, or Brenda's 3, it's an AIS vessel. It is giving me all of this information. The call sign, how long it is in meters, so 20 meters, roughly 60 feet, 6 meters wide, about an 18-foot beam. Where it is, its bearing, its speed. Right now it's just there, and nearest approach, we'll see that as we move along. It is figuring out your trajectory. Turn that off for a second. It's the VHF, and it will give a trajectory of your vessel and the other vessel and say, hey, at this point, if you keep this heading, here is where you would hit each other. So very good. And we have alarms programmed in there to give us an idea of, how many feet it is away. So those will come up on the screen. So AIS, very important piece of equipment. I think if you're going to do any serious boating in congested areas, and particularly on the Mississippi River with the barges, and the Illinois River with the barges, and Tennessee Tom as well, going around the corners, you can't see around the corners, but the AIS can. So we'll be using AIS today a lot. A couple other things I'd like to talk about this morning is, your documentation of your trip. And I have this book. People ask me about it. It's the dog. I call it the dog, and it looks that way in case I say to Rev, hey, can you hand me the dog? There's no mistaking this as the dog. It's the daily operations guide, and I have things in here that I refer to on my trip. A calendar, checklist are in here, a copy of the checklist. I'm going to show you the checklist, but ship log, fuel log, notes, points of contact that I think are important, diagrams of the boat that have to do with the height of the boat and the depth of the boat, those types of things, and then chart notes and miscellaneous stuff for your particular trip. So being organized is something that's important to me, as well as checklists. Now, some of you are going to say, hey, you're going to see these checklists and go, can I get a copy of the checklist? And the answer is, you need to build your own checklist, okay? And we'll show you how to do that at some point, to build your own checklist. But Rev has one and I have one. And we go through these, particularly in times of, where we haven't operated the boat. It gives us a refresher. Are we missing something? And I'll sit up here at the bridge while Rev is getting the lines ready, and I'll look and make sure that we got things and we have coordination items on here. So it's important that you construct your own checklist. If you're going to use a checklist, you can certainly operate the boat without a checklist. But as you look through your operating manual, there'll be things in there for your boat that you want to do correctly. You want to do it right every time. So it's important to have some type of checklist. So we have those today that we're going to be obviously using. Today's route was done by Navionics, and then I've shown you before how to import that from Navionics into your Active Captain on your phone. And I do this on my phone. I do the route on my phone in Navionics, then I take it and export it to Active Captain, and then I'll turn my chart plotter on, and wirelessly through Wi-Fi and the network in here, this route will go in there. So my Navionics route is on my phone as a backup. In case this chart plotter went down, I will have the same route in here. So I will take a look at that route, not only on Navionics before I put it in here, but I'm also cross-checking to see, hey, is that taking me in any area that I don't want to go? And I'll just kind of scroll through there and go, yeah, that makes sense, that makes sense, that makes sense, that makes sense. And hey, it's going to take us into here. And the Statue of Liberty is right here. So probably about 30 minutes before we're docking, we'll see the Statue of Liberty. Next thing is, how is the tide and the currents affecting us today? Well, I do know from my apps, and we can get tide from just about any source these days. They used to print up those tide tables, and in fact, Utches still prints up their tide tables. I think that's kind of neat. The old way, you can look at the tide table, but you can get tides from here. I can get it from Navionics. I have apps, and I know that low tide was at 5:05. It's coming up on 7:15. I think, I don't know exactly what time it is here. We'll see what time it is. It's about 6:54, so we're at the point where we're going to be right at slack tide, and if we're a few minutes late, it's not a big deal. But as the water, rushes out, well, now it's going to start rushing in, okay? And that's that period here where you want to take advantage of the minimal current going out on this inlet. So that's what we're going to do. This is windy, and if we can go back here, I guess, and we can take a look at this. Rev, if you could focus in. This windy here, it's a free app, and it gives you a lot of information. Look at that. I have zoomed in on the particular area that I want. And over here on this side, and if you don't know what all these things are, there's a way to get to the legend on here. I won't bore you with that. But right at 8 o'clock today, the wind is 6.5 knots from the south. And we are looking at, well, that's the gust, up to 9 knots. The temperature, the barometric pressure. And now we're starting to look at something that I want to see here, and here is where you will see what is the swell, and it's 2.7 with a period of about 7.3. So yesterday we had a swell of 2 with a period of 9. So this is it's going to be a little choppier than it was yesterday, Rev. So I'd say batten down the hatches down there, but we'll make it work, and we're going to get up to Lady Liberty, and soon we'll be on the Hudson River where we won't have to deal with many swells. But a really cool tool that we have, and an electronic app. So hope that helps you in some of your planning, being organized, and we're going to look at AIS today as we go along. Let's get going. I think it's about ready to talk about the lines. Rev, what do you think?
All right, then.
All right.